Right now, I should be on a dance floor, but instead I am alone in writing these sentences, as if these lines could actually be a replacement for my girlfriend's smile. Why, you ask? Because I had to. Really? If your mind was a room, what would it look like inside? I hate to confess it, but mine is an office that I can't escape from. Even when I'm somewhere else altogether, in some way, I'm always sitting at my desk, while my ceiling lamp bathes everything in pale light. Next to me, a cup of coffee, cold. The cheerfulness of the little heart pattern offends me slightly. I stare at a blank Word document with an aimless cursor. Somewhere in the background, there's a timer ticking, quiet and nervous. Who said it? What is it counting down? I don't know, but I fear it's ringing. The more I ignore it, the louder it gets. Turns out, closing up the world only locks me in with my demons. The following statement seems strange to me, and yet I keep saying it to myself. I am not enough. I don't say that literally, and most of the time I'm not even aware of it. But especially in the past few weeks, I can hear it more and more clearly. And by that I mean, I can feel it physically. Whenever I'm not working on something that I think is useful for my future, then these feelings of guilt arise. It is like something is smoldering inside my chest. My heart starts racing. My blood pressure rises. Yes, I measured that. Let me tell you, not the most pleasant feeling. But what does that even mean, to not be enough? And most importantly, who the hell says that? Well, me, of course. But whose perspective am I speaking from? Is it the perspective of my parents, to whom I want to prove something? Is it the perspective of my peers, with whom I compare myself? I guess both of that is to some extent true. But the most scornful voice, the one that ignites the fire inside me, is my own. There is a video recording of me as a child that is very significant to me. It shows me reciting a poem on Christmas Eve.
Unter einer Tanne in der Weihnachtsnacht hat ein kleiner Hase traurig sich gedacht.
Whenever I see it, I think, not bad for a 4-year-old. What a promising child. Yes, what a beautiful promise. But what if I break that promise? This promise of a successful, fully savored life. Some nights, this fear keeps me awake. I gaze for hours at my ceiling, where the time stares down at me like Sauron's eye. The less time I have to sleep, the more nervous I get about not finally sleeping. The darkness is like a canvas for all my worries. And once again, anxiety ignites in my chest. How I would love to call that lust for life, but it isn't. Rather, it's fear of wasting it. This promise could also be called something else. Potential. We tend to think of potential as a talent for something. But to me, The notion of potential carries this uplifting feeling of what life could be like if I could only get it right. And if I pay attention to my daydreams, they show me what that would look like. Life is suddenly easy then, no longer this eternal grind. Even the most ordinary action is filled with meaning and in some mysterious way an extension of my authentic self. Unfortunately, I am not in this mental state, and the gap that separates me from it is the thought of not being enough. That's why I'm hard on myself, and I try to overcome my limits. Isn't that the way to become enough? To become whole? The way that society teaches us? Go ahead. Strive for greater possibilities. If life promises so much, how could doing nothing be a wise choice? And before I know it, I'm back at my desk, while life goes dancing without me.
Dreaming of one's potential can be a beautiful thought, but a dangerous one too. At least, if it creates a self-image that takes pride in not being satisfied only to mask fear of regret. This is a telling sign to me. Fulfillment never waits in the moment, only in the distance, never to be reached by me. But how do I break free of the cycle where everything I do is just a mean to an end? For me, the image of a Japanese knife maker comes to mind, practicing his craft on top of a hill. Why on a hill? Because he is not bothered by any pressure that society puts upon him. He is content with himself, and that's why all the big false promises can't tempt him. He only listens to the voice of his passion, the same passion that nourishes his soul when no one is giving him the recognition that I cannot seem to live without. But he doesn't need that, because he finds fulfillment in the work itself. Until there's no difference between creator and creation, because everything he is, he poured into his work. Isn't that the true expression that I'm longing for? To find the courage to face the world vulnerably? With all my crazy thoughts, with all the childlike wonder I feel for life. So I guess the question that I'm asking myself, and I'm asking you as well, is: how much are you driven towards a thing you truly love? And how much are you pushed by the wrong reasons?